Okay guys, thanks for joining me. I wanted to show you my filming rig. I have an extruded aluminum frame here sitting on my desk. I've got one light here, one light here. The GoPro is actually mounted on a gantry so it can slide side to side. And it can slide in and out on the gantry. So that lets me position it where I want it. Then I can do things, and then I have a macro adapter, so if something I just need to show detail, I've got a little macro lens. I can flop in the macro lens and show the detail. So let's talk a little bit more about this aluminum extrusion. This is 20 by 40 aluminum extrusion. This is about the same stuff that's on the 3D printer. It is available as 20 by 20, 40 by 40, 20 by 40, 20 by 60, etc. There are L-shaped brackets and T-shaped brackets to connect these together. You put captive nuts into the little channel, and then you've got a hex Allen screw that will tighten that nut and hold it all together. If you look closely here, you can see the T-nuts just in the darkness under the bolt. Here's a view of the entire rig. So I basically measured this desk front to back, and then I measured the height that I wanted, and I measured the width that I needed, and I bought the closest aluminum extrusion to those sizes. To attach the lights and the cameras, I tapped out the center screws of these extrusions in order to use the same screws directly on the end. And then bolted these plates onto the end of the extrusion, and I drilled a hole bigger for the 1/4 inch tripod screw. This is how the T-plates will be attached to the end of the aluminum extrusion. Here's a look at the gantry. I had to drill the center hole out to be 1/4 inch for the tripod ball head, and then I took it to the sander to deburr the edge. This was my original design, but you can see I didn't have the rolling gantry. I just put it at the center of the bar. I had planned, and you can see here I've mounted a tripod ball head to the end of that extrusion. Here now I've decided to put a rolling gantry on that bar so it can move from side to side. I also have the rolling gantry to move the camera in and out. Here I have some of the extrusion to lift the lights up on the sides. This is a close-up of the gantry for the camera with the ball head attached. You can see I've got a T-shaped or an L-shaped bracket just to contain that and keep it from falling off the aluminum extrusion. I did have to sand down the head of these screws, so the one on the right is an original, but the one on the left I've sanded down because it needs that clearance to roll cleanly on the gantry. I did mount an HDMI monitor. Originally I mounted it low to the left. I eventually put it up higher on the left and eventually put it high up on the right. This has HDMI ports on the circuit board, but I did have to burr down these mounts so that I could get both the screw in place and the cord actually plugged in on the side. Let's talk about the macro lens adapter. This was designed for a different GoPro than I had, so I had to create this 3D printed adapter. It fits tightly around the GoPro's lens, and then it fits tightly inside the macro lens adapter. Okay, so here's this macro lens adapter. I had to 3D print a little adapter here inside. Right there you can see a little adapter to get that to fit. But as I want to do macro, I just flop this up. And there's a little magnetic attachment, and when I'm done, I can just flop it and kind of bend it off to the side. I may need something to hold the weight of that later as it gets a little looser. But you can see a little 3D printed adapter. It just goes on the front of that GoPro camera. I also have I also have over here a HDMI monitor that goes directly from the GoPro out. So while I'm doing things, let me turn it on. So as I'm working, let's do a macro. As I'm working, I can be watching that monitor as I'm doing my work. And that helps me keep things on camera. And here I can be working down low, but I can be watching that monitor and keep an eye on things. So I do have this GoPro on a gantry, so I can slide it side to side. And then I can slide it in and out. So I can position it right where I want it while I do my stuff.